Hello, welcome and good morning. So today we are going to look at some questions that are key in physics. Now, I drew these questions from various topics in physics, and like I said, over the years, questions are being repeated and sometimes with a little changes. So, please, I want you to pay attention and watch these questions. You may see any of them in JAMB this year. I pulled them from between 2010 to 2018, and in another video, by God's grace, I'm going to pull from other years too. So I want you to carefully watch this. You cannot tell which one will come out. Familiarize yourself with these questions and hit your JAMB score target and keep going. All right, let's go right into it. The first question I have at the top there, you can see I wrote 2010 Q31. That is, this question came out in JAMB 2010 as question number 31. As question number 31. Now the question says, which of the following is used for the correction of short-sightedness? Very important. This question is under lens. Yes. So, glasses, medical glasses are given to people that have short-sightedness. And we also have those that have long-sightedness. So these are disorders, vision, when it comes to vision. Situations where someone may see something that is far but may not see something that is close, or may see something that is only close and may not be able to see what is far. So these are defects. These are medical conditions that are corrected using glasses. Okay, so the question is now, which type of glass is given to someone that is suffering from short-sightedness? So we have concave lens, concave mirror, convex mirror, convex lens. So in the first place, are we talking about mirror here? Never. Do you now see how you filter out your answers to get to the right one? It's just as simple as that. Once you are smart, you can filter down to know that this one can never be part of the options. So once you begin to remove those that can never be part, hey, guess what? You are narrowing down to your right answer, to the correct answer. That's just it. So we are not talking about mirror here. We are talking about lens. So of course, B and C are gone already. They are never part of our answer. Are we getting it now? Are we getting it? All right. So we have convex. Don't forget convex. Convex converge. Concave diverge. Converge means bring together. Bring light together. Or bring light together. While concave diverges. So since this person is suffering from myopia or short-sightedness, he needs a lens that can diverge the light rays so that he will be able to see something that is far, so that he will not just be seeing things that are very closer to him. So the correct answer is concave lens. I've written a short explanatory note here. After I've given you assignment and you have concluded with today's assignment, I will send this material to the group. Please, if you are not in the group, if you are not in our WhatsApp coaching group, which is for free training, please, I will drop the WhatsApp link. You can click on it to join us. Thank you. So that you will get this material also, and several others I will be sharing in the future. Okay, so the correct answer is concave lens. I've written a short explanatory note there that short-sightedness, also called myopia. Please note this. So that's what is called myopia. So that you'll be able to, in case they say which of the following can be used to correct myopia, you should also know. They may not have to say short-sightedness. They may decide to use the word myopia. That may just be the difference they will add to the question, and that's all. So don't forget myopia, 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 myopia. Seeing a short distance, only things that are at a short distance, but not seeing things that are far distance. All right. So I said short-sightedness or myopia occurs when light rays focus in front of the retina instead of on it. A concave lens diverges the light rays before they enter the eye, allowing them to focus correctly on the retina, thereby enabling the person to be able to see things that are far. Alright, so that's the answer. Let's go to the next question very quickly. I don't want this video to be long, please. Alright, so the next question here was pulled from 2010, question 39. Say the power supply is transmitted at a very high voltage and low current in order to A. Increase the power supply, B. Prevent overheating of coil, C. Make it travel fast, D. Make it pass through transformer. Alright, you need to understand this question carefully. First of all, you have to know that if electricity is going to be transmitted to a far distance, it must be in low current, high voltage. Please take note of this. Take note of this, because voltage has to do with the intensity, the speed at which it should be transferred. You know, sometimes when they restore light in our houses and our bulbs are emitting low amount of light, what do we normally call it? We say low current, but that's wrong. It's not low current. It's low voltage. The voltage is low. That's the correct thing to say. So if power is to be transmitted from Lagos to Abuja, it has to be in low current but high voltage. Those of you that are familiar with high tension, if you go close to those metal poles, those big poles, you know what you normally hear? You hear a kind of sound from the cables. That's high voltage. It's telling you that it's high voltage. So, but the current has to be low. Why? Because if the current is high, the wires will become hot. They will become hot, and if they become hot, most of the energy will be lost through heat. So to avoid the electricity from being lost in form of heat, then electricity is transferred or is transmitted in low current but high voltage. All right, given this explanation, let's now answer our question. Yes. All right, the question now says power supply is transmitted at very high voltage and low current in order to increase the power supply. No. Prevent overheating of the coil. Make it travel fast. No. Make it pass through transformers. No. The correct answer is B, to prevent overheating of the coil. If the coil becomes overheated, much energy will be wasted in form of heat, and we don't want this electricity to be transmitted or to be transformed or changed into heat. We want it to be transmitted as it is, so that when it gets to the final destination, you now decide what you will use with it. Either you want to turn it into heat to cook, or you want to turn it into motion like in our fans, or in engines, to drive engines, it now depends on how you want to use it. So I hope this is very, very clear. Electricity is always transmitted in low current, high voltage. If you have any question about this, please ask. Just drop it at the comment section. I will answer it. Yes, many people have been asking questions and I've been attending to them. So please, if this is not clear, ask question. I have seen this question repeatedly. Myself, I have answered it both in WAEC, in NECO, in JAMB. It has been coming because it's very key when it comes to electric transmission. So don't think that you will not see it this year. Either it comes in this format or they may change it in another format. Take note of this. So I've explained this now. Thank you. Let's go to the next question. All right. So the next question was also pulled from 2010. Question 50. Yes, question 50. So the question says, which of the following is a pure semiconductor? Pure semiconductor. Now, what is a conductor first? Materials that allow passage of electricity through them, like copper wire, aluminum wire, silver. Silver is the best conductor. It's the best electric conductor. You see, I'm answering questions already before you go and see it in JAMB. Which of the following is the best electric conductor? On earth, silver is the best electric conductor. You can go and browse it too. Yes. So, but why is it that they don't use silver to make our electric cables? You can guess. The reason is because silver is very, very expensive. Secondly, it is heavy. So placing it on electric cables, on electric poles, means that the weight will be much on the poles and they may likely not stay long. They will fall all the time. Grid collapse. Yes, we are familiar with that. All right. So that's what a conductor is. I say silver is the best electric conductor, but it is not used because it is expensive and it is heavy. Aluminium is less expensive and it is light. That's why it is mostly used for electric transmission. Copper is also used, but not for long distance transmission. Most times in our home wiring or connections. All right, so semiconductor, I've explained conductor now. Semiconductor are those substances that allow the passage of electricity through them partially. Semi, half. Don't forget that word. Some English words are self-explanatory. You don't need to waste much of your time. Then we have insulators. Insulators are non-conductors. They don't conduct electricity, like rubber, plastics. They don't conduct electricity. So don't forget this. All right, so they now say which of the following is a pure conductor? A, silicon. B, phosphorus. C, transistor. D, carbon. All right, first of all, carbon is never a semiconductor. You see, I've removed that. It can never be an answer. Transistor is an instrument. It's a semiconductor. Is an instrument. So an instrument can never be a semiconductor. Then phosphorus, there is what we call dopant or doping. Yes, if you are familiar with that word in physics, doping. Doping is more like mixing another substance either to increase conductivity or to reduce conductivity. So phosphorus is a dopant. So the correct answer is A, which is silicon. Silicon is a semiconductor. If you are familiar with it, you know that silicon is, anywhere you talk about semiconductor, you talk about silicon. All right, let's go to the next question. So the next question says, dispersion occurs when light passes through glass prism because dispersion. Listen to that question. That's the key question that should keep ringing in your mind as we continue now, because that's what defines everything we are going to talk about now. So dispersion occurs when white light passes through a glass prism because because of different speed of colors in the glass, B, high density of the glass, C, defects in the glass, D, different hidden colors in the glass. All right, does glass has colors hidden in it? No. What causes dispersion? Because the glass is defective, maybe it has broken inside? No. What causes dispersion when light passes through a glass prism? Because of the high density of the glass? No. Alright, so what's the correct answer? The correct answer is because different speeds of the colors in glass. When you pass light, I hope you remember that white light has how many colors? Remember your roy beef, right? Yes. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So these are the colors of light. So as these colors passes through glass prism, they move at different speeds. So that is what causes dispersion. So a glass color can actually separate these colors from white light. You can pass white light through a glass prism, and at the end, the result will be the dispersion of colors. You can see the colors. The colors can even be separated into their individual color components. All right, so I hope that is also clear. If anything is not clear, ask question. All right, let's check the next question. The next question is question 25 in 2010. It says the sound of an electric bell dies down slowly when air is slowly pumped out of the bottle because you know electric bulb, right? Those ones they used to put at home so that if you visit a house, there will be a button where you press, and people that are inside house, they will hear the ringing. More like, if so in some houses, even if you are knocking, no one will hear you. So they normally put electric bell so that while they are inside, if you just press that button, the electric bell will ring there inside the house. Inside the house. So the question is now that why is it that the sound of an electric bell dies down slowly when air is slowly pumped out of the bottle? Okay, let's see which one is the answer. A, sound cannot pass through the bottle. No. Sound can pass through a vacuum. No. Sound needs a material medium. Yes. The wavelength of a sound becomes greater in the bottle. No. Now, have you ever thought that there are some times that you hear noise in your environment more than sometimes? Okay, let me give an example. Noise or sound follows the direction of air. If air is blowing eastward and you are westward, something may be very closer to you and making a very loud noise, but you cannot hear, simply because the air is not in your direction. So that tells us that sound needs a material medium to travel. Now, in your room, for example, if they remove all the air and tightly remove all the air and close everywhere, now even if they are hitting drums very close to you, do you know that you cannot hear it? So sound cannot travel in a vacuum. It needs a material. It needs a material medium. Either air can transmit the light, and the sound can transfer the sound. Some liquids too can transfer the sound. But in a vacuum, if you are in a vacuum, whatever they hit, you cannot hear. However they shout, you cannot hear. So please know this. So I'm taking my time to explain. I'm answering some questions already around this question. All right, so the correct answer is that sound needs a material medium all the time to travel. All right, thank you. Let's quickly go. I want this video to be rounded up. Okay, that's an explanatory note. I will send it to as many of you that may want it. But then, okay, I'll drop the WhatsApp link for those that are not there to join so that they can have the material. And the ones I will be sending subsequently. But those of you that are in the group already on the WhatsApp group for the free coaching, I will drop the material. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you'll be seeing other videos. In fact, I've sent one video yesterday which is very important. I shared some of the key things you must put into consideration if you want to increase your chances of getting admission, because JAMB has now categorically said it is not just this course. There are some things also that contribute to your admission. I have created a very informative video on that and I've posted it. So if you are not following my channel, check it, subscribe to the channel, like, share with others, and you will see videos that I'll be posting. Let's go to the next question. Next question says, if a container is filled with ice to the brim, what happens to the level of water when the ice completely melts? Do you see these applied questions now? They require reasoning, they require thinking, they require knowledge. So assuming I put ice block into a beaker, and if the ice block uh, uh, reaches the brim, that's the top, the end of the bottle, what happens if it finally dissolves? Does the water increase? Okay. Does it reduce? Does it remain unchanged? Or what happened? All right, so let's look at the options. Option A says the water in the glass outflows. That is, it will, by the time the ice melts completely, the water would increase and overflow. All right, the second option says the level of water drops, that the water reduces by the time all the ice melts. All right, C says the level of water remains unchanged, and D says the level of water goes up. The correct answer is C, the level of water remains unchanged. Now, I've written an explanatory note there. When ice melts, it turns into water of the same volume it originally displaced. Yes. So since the ice is less dense than water, the total volume remains constant even when it melts. All right, so let's go to the next question, which I think is the last. Yes. The small droplet of water that forms on the grass in the early hours of the morning is, everyone can answer this question now. What do we call it? The water droplets that forms on top of grass, early hours of morning. Dew, mist, fudge, hail. So the correct answer is dew. We call it dew. Morning dew. Yes, in the morning you see droplets of water form on top of grass. So the dew forms when moisture in air condenses on cool surfaces, such as grass, due to drop in temperature during the early hours of morning. Mist and fudge are suspended water droplets in the air, while haze is a frozen precipitation. Now let me explain this more clearer. There are times the air is full of water, that is, the humidity is high, especially during the wet season. There is air, but the air is full of water. There are even sometimes, if you are very careful, when air blows, you yourself will be feeling as if there is water in that air. So that means the humidity is high. Now, when the humidity is high, that is, air and water in air is high, which is actually a condition for rain to fall. If the air is dry, the likelihood of rain is very slow. There won't even be rain. So before it rains, the air must be highly humid, because it's the humidity that condenses to fall in form of rain. If you've done geography, you will know what I'm talking about. You have done orographic rainfall, convectional rainfall, all those rainfall. You know how it forms. So if the humidity in air, if the water in air is high and the temperature drops, which is usually at night, the temperature reduces because there is no sun. Sun increases the temperature. So at night there is no sun, so the temperature reduces, it drops. So if it drops, the water precipitates. It's just like you putting your hand on top of a boiling pot. What happened? Before you know it, the steam that is coming up will start forming water droplets on your palm. Why do you think it is so? It is so because the vapor that was coming up from a very high temperature as a result of high temperature. Now on hitting your hand is cooler than the pot, so the water condenses and comes back to its liquid form. So we'll stop here on this video. If you have not subscribed, if you have not liked, if you have not shared, if you have not clicked that bell to remind you anytime I post a video, do that now before you forget. Thank you, everyone. We see in the next class where I will come up with several other questions, even as we prepare for JAMB 2025. Remember, the goal is to have you get 250 plus in JAMB this year, and it is possible. Always follow my tutorials tightly and you will get there. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.